Let's continue the discussion on artificial intelligence and Pope Leo's Encyclical with Tim Hwang from the Institute for a Christian Machine Intelligence. What kind of a response has there been to the announcement of the Encyclical from the tech community?
It's been an enormous response. I work with a lot of people in startups, in the largest labs, and I think for a lot of folks who, are not, say, Catholics themselves, the idea that the Vatican would get involved in these issues and that the Holy Father would make this, the very first encyclical that is put out, has been really creating waves, and I think there's a lot of interest in what it will all say.
There are so many real questions that are impacting not only children, but also adults with AI. Why is the moral formation of artificial intelligence so important?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize this, but AI at the end of the day is something that is trained on data from all around the internet, all around kind of our lives. And as a result, this is a technology that is in some ways very human. It's trained on data that we created. And so I think given that, like we do need to take the moral formation of these systems very seriously. And there's a lot of work right now that goes into what they call aligning these systems. But it's a big priority right now to make sure that, these systems are aligned, particularly along Christian principles.
Now, you have done some experiments exposing AI models to scripture. What have you learned?
Yes, I think one of the most exciting things that we're finding is, of course, scripture and Christian tradition is extremely well represented in the training data, the way these systems learn. And so, one of the most interesting things that we discovered was, the introduction of scripture to these models causes them to behave more morally, that their moral decision making improves. And it's not surprised to anyone who is a Christian, but it's interesting that we are finding it deep within these modern AI systems.
What do you hope for or expect from the new AI commission announced by the Vatican?
Well, I think there's a huge opportunity here. Obviously, the Catholic Church brings with it enormous moral force and obviously a global community. But I guess my main worry is that, that the commission stays focused only on sort of abstract values and principles. But a lot of what's happening in AI really requires technical research and technical work. And so one of the things I'm most excited by is the ability for maybe the commission to actually get invested in that space. That the church will be involved in doing research, putting out evals, releasing data, and really starting to kind of shape these technologies, not just kind of discuss principles around them.
For those worried about AI or concerned, where would you suggest they start?
Well, I think the best way to start actually is just by playing with these technologies yourself. They really are amazing right now, and they're very accessible because you can just talk to them and get them to do certain things. And I think it's a great way of getting the intuitions for where there are opportunities with the technology, but also genuine spiritual risks. And I think only from there and getting a really calibrated sense of the risks can we start to figure out how we make these systems better, make these systems consistent with the faith.
Tim Hwang, thank you.
Thanks for having me on the show, Veronica.